Good evening and welcome to the SVG TV News for Tuesday, December 14th. I am Khalil Kato with the details. The multi-million-dollar port modernization project will be the most important capital project to be executed by the government in 2022. This is according to Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, who was at the time making his contribution to the debate in Parliament yesterday on the 2022 budget estimates, which amount to 1.3 billion EC dollars. Prime Minister Gonsalves said the port project is of critical importance to SVG's economy, even though it will incur more debt.
Is one which is of critical importance. You can't tell us that we can't build a port when anybody talks to me about debt. I ask them the simple question: you don't want me to borrow money to build a port, a modern port? So it naturally would carry the debt higher, but once it is being built, it will contribute in the process of the very building to economic activity. And after it is built, it's an economic project because it will help to generate further economic activity.
PM Gonsalves rubbished claims that the new project, which will be in Rose Place, is not necessary at this time, noting that extensive consultancy work was carried out and found that the two ports currently in use at Camden Park and Kingstown are inadequate.
Because if you look at the port in Kingstown, it's over 60 years old. And you go underneath, you notice we have to be patching it. And it has been, there are limits to which you can patch it. And the container port at Camden Park was not built in a manner and to a size which one would say, objectively speaking, appropriate to a modern economy. It's good we have it, but the Camden Park port was not as well constructed as it should have been, and the size of it, it's just not anywhere good enough. And particularly taking into consideration that the one at Port Kingstown is falling apart.
The UK Partnership Infrastructure Fund and the Caribbean Development Bank, along with the government of SVG, are funding the new port project to the tune of 110 million US dollars. PM Gonsalves said he is pleased with the CDB's confidence in SVG's economy by granting the government the largest loan ever.
Well, we had started to have discussions with the British, even before that, and with the Caribbean Development Bank. Well, the British gave 25 million pounds as a grant. The value of that now is about $35 million US. And the CDB gave us a loan with different components, a soft loan. In order to get the size of it, we had to hedge some things with the euros. It's a mixture of euros and dollars. Very intricate arrangement. But CDB, so convinced of the value of this port to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, they gave us the largest loan ever granted by the CDB in 50 years for any one project. I would say that's confidence in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the people, the economy, and the government.
Meantime, Prime Minister Gonsalves told Parliament that SVG's economy fared well this year, despite the many challenges brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic and the eruption of the La Soufrière volcano. The Ministry of Agriculture has been allocated $45.6 million in the 2022 budget estimates. Speaking on the allocation, Minister of Agriculture Saboto Caesar said that one main focus is on banana production and export.
Major changes that we made was to subsume the Banana Services Unit under General Extension, because it was the view of the technicians and the banana farmers that there is a need for a consolidated production platform of which the banana industry will continue to play a part for the production of bananas for local consumption and for export to the region. And when I speak about bananas, I also speak about bananas and plantains.
Another area of focus is sensitization programs, which will be carried out by field officers.
There are increases in the allocations for extension and advisory services, and we are going to see in 2022 more emphasis being placed on having the extension officers work closer with the stakeholders, because it is very important as we work to transform the sector that sensitization must play a vital role in guiding the diversification process.
Reflecting on 2021, Minister Caesar said that the government responded well to the needs of the people, which has helped with the recovery of the agriculture sector.
If it wasn't for the hard work and dedication of this government, thousands of people across this country would still be in shelters. If it wasn't for the hard work of this government, hundreds of roadways in this country would still be blocked by ash. If it wasn't for this government, hundreds of farmers throughout this country would not be able to produce in order to feed the sub-region as we continue to do.
Meanwhile, opposition member of parliament for Central Kingstown, Sinclair Leacock, took a jab at the government during his contribution to the debate, stating that the government missed a great opportunity to consult with the opposition on the many challenges which have affected the country over the past year, including the COVID-19 pandemic, the dengue outbreak, and the eruption of La Soufrière. Leacock said consultations were necessary and important in crafting a budget for the times.
Not once, ONC, was there a consultation with the leader of the opposition or any member, and for that matter, with the opposition party. And certainly it is my view that these unprecedented challenges also presented an opportunity for a coming together of the people for the greater good of the society. That's not only a missed opportunity, Madam Speaker, but against the backdrop of the argument, and I heard this stated by the Minister of Agriculture, and correctly so, that 2022 has to be a year of production and productivity.
The opposition MP said the people need to be motivated during this challenging time, and the government has to work hand in hand with all stakeholders to create a better way forward.
This New Democratic Party, I'm proud to say, has the majority representation in corporate St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and it matters. And we're not far behind in agriculture St. Vincent. And that has to be for good reason, Madam Speaker. I make the case to say why consultation is all the more important. I haven't had the privilege, the benefit of making a single contribution of what the people in Central Kingstown, or any of the Kingstowns, or even on South Leeward, who are also my close friends, would like to see done for them in 2022. And that must have been a part of their consideration when they voted us into office.
The opposition MP said the 2022 budget estimates is far from reality, which lacks credibility. The Caribbean Agricultural Research and Development Institute, CARDI, is implementing a new project here aimed at revitalizing the coconut industry. The Alliance for the Coconut Industry Expansion and Enhancement Support Project is being funded by the European Union under the 11th EDF. Representative of CARDI, Gregory Linton, said over the years the organization, whose main focus is to safeguard food security in the region, has been involved in the production of many commodities such as hot peppers, bananas, plantains, yams, dashins, cassava, sweet potatoes, and coconuts.
Commenced in 2019 and will end in 2023. That project aims at helping to build alliances amongst players and stakeholders in the coconut industry, as well as helping to revitalize the industry on a whole. Coconuts, why coconuts? Coconut is a very versatile crop. It's not originally from the Caribbean. It was introduced during colonial times, but it has become synonymous with the Caribbean. You see it all across our landscape, and it's a very versatile crop. We use it for food, and it also provides a lot of employment in rural communities. But not only that, over the past decades, we have had an ever-increasing demand for coconut and coconut products. However, supply has been sort of lacking and unable to keep up with the demand for coconuts at a global level.
Linton said they decided to partner with the government of SVG to assist in revitalizing and resuscitating the coconut industry based on 3 areas of product development.
The coconut sports drink area, which includes a lot of coconut water, fresh coconut water. Then we have coconut food area, which would include confectionaries, bakery products, and other food items done with coconut, and the coconut chemicals area, which would deal with a lot of the oils and the coconut cosmetics and soaps and so forth. So we have a lot of demand. We know we have demand. We have demand locally, we have demand in the region, and also at an international level. We have a lot of local producers who are involved in some level of value addition in terms of producing oil and producing coconut water. And even then, it's a challenge to get the amount of nuts and the amount of raw materials that we need for processing. Hence, CARDI, under the 11th EDF, and this project, which is funded under the 11th EDF, we've decided to partner with the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the Ministry of Agriculture, to assist in revitalizing and resuscitating the industry.
A coconut nursery has already been established here, with a second one to be implemented at another agricultural station to assist farmers with a variety of coconut plants.
So how do we do that? Well, first of all, we have to produce planting material and distribute them to farmers so that some of the older plants, older trees can be replaced and new plantations can be established. Most of the plantations that are present, I mean, we see coconuts everywhere, but most of these plantations are very old and they have passed their productive lifespan. In St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we normally deal with 4 main varieties, which would be the Atlantic tall. The Atlantic talls are normally the tall trees which we see around, and they're mostly used for the kernel or for oil. Some persons call them oil nuts locally. Then we have what we call the Malayan dwarfs. Some persons refer to them as Spanish nuts. There are 3 variations. There is a yellow variation, there is an orange variation, some persons refer to them as red as well, and then there is a green variation. So we have the Malayan red or orange, Malayan yellow, and Malayan green dwarf. And those are mostly suitable for water.
Today is being celebrated as CARDI Day, and like most other celebrations this year, is quiet, as the COVID-19 pandemic has forced the organization to scale back its activities and consider virtual events in place of the usual face-to-face interactions. Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves addressed today. The Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves addressed the 20th Summit of the Bolivarian Alliance for the Peoples of Our America, ALBA, being held in Cuba. The Prime Minister noted the difficulties faced by Venezuela and Cuba by the U.S. government's policies and asked that they find common ground.
And as I said before, this is a very complex country, the U.S. That's why we need to find common ground with them, like when we talk with Obama, to revert what's happening. So we have to find ways to see how we can relate, even if it is hard to relate with them, but we have to find a way to also relate with the U.S. people.
The Prime Minister thanked Cuba and Venezuela for the contributions made to SVG over the years, including its fight against COVID-19. He reminded all countries of the importance of maintaining their identity and not letting powerful countries dominate.
Happening right now in this modern time, and to have the right to keep the memory of the historic memory, and it will be the history the memory of our history written by ourselves, and to remember who we are. And do not allow others to define our history. Not to allow anybody else to define the identification, the identity of our region, of our Caribbean region. This is essential.
At the 20th LBA TCP Summit, post-pandemic strategies were discussed, as well as the impacts of the U.S. policies on the affected countries. The LBA TCP is made up of 10 Latin American countries and Caribbean countries, including SVG. In the latest COVID-19 update provided, one new positive case was reported from 29 samples collected on Sunday, resulting in a 3.5% positivity rate. 2 new rapid antigen positive results were also reported on Sunday from flu clinics. There are currently 3 patients admitted for COVID-19 at the Argyle Isolation Facility, one of which is fully vaccinated and the other 2 unvaccinated. 14 patients have been admitted to the COVID-19 ward at the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital. All are said to be unvaccinated. No deaths or recoveries were reported over the reporting period. 535 cases are currently active and 77 persons with COVID-19 have died. 5,723 cases of COVID-19 and 5,111 recoveries have been recorded in St. Vincent and the Grenadines since March 2020. 450 vulnerable persons will benefit from food hampers for the Christmas season from the Salvation Army. Yesterday, 150 of the food hampers were distributed among the elderly, disabled, and vulnerable, and Administrator of the Salvation Army, Major Ernest Gashelin, says that the other food hampers will be distributed over the next 2 days.
Because of COVID-19, we normally have it one day, but because of COVID-19, we have to have it in 3 days, today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. So today we're going to give 150, and it will go like that until Wednesday.
So each day is 150?
Yes. Well, we know that it is a time that is very difficult, especially this time, after the eruption, where COVID was there before, and eruption came again, and COVID is still there. So we realized, okay, people, they are really in need. They're in need, and we have a joy because the Salvation Army purpose is to assist others. First, our basis is to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ to everyone, and then our purpose is to assist others. So even though it is hard now, but we are very grateful to God, first of all, to give us the strength for covering the people who are on the road.
Major Gashelin also used the opportunity to thank persons who have been assisting the Salvation Army with its Christmas Kettle Appeal.
Again, what I'm saying that I want to say that I'm grateful to those who go out, risk themselves, because it's a risk, to go out there, and to ring the bell. Because I know how it is, because I go many days as well. So I know how it is. Sometimes people, when you ask them, you have different reactions. Some curse you, you understand? Some say bad words, you understand? Because one time, last week I believe, I was asking and somebody say, well, you're not given to the Salvation Army because the Salvation Army does not give anything to people. All right? That's a surprise. What? The encouragement we get from other people that help us, encourage us to continue to do this. And we are grateful for that.
The Salvation Army administrator said compared to last year, the contribution to the Kettle Appeal is very slow, and that they are behind with the donations they usually receive around this time.
Comparing to last year, it is very low, very slow. We're not where we were last year. But we know that COVID-19 plays a big role in that, and also the eruption as well. Plays a big role in that. So, but we are there. We will continue until the end of this month, and hopefully we will reach where we're supposed to be. Say thanks to those of us, those who have supported us over the years and continue to support us. We still have outstanding some good envelopes, so we hope that we will get them. And if you did not receive any envelope, you want to donate, feel free to do so. You can drop the envelope in the kettle pots, or you can bring it here, or you can call me. We'll still come and pick it up.
Major Gashlin urged persons to stay safe for the Christmas season, especially in this time of COVID-19, and that they should remember Jesus Christ is the reason for the season.
Encourage the people to try your best to remain safe. You know, I said it some time ago, we have too many people already gone through the virus. We don't want anybody else to go. It's unfortunate they're already gone, but we don't want anybody else to go. But we have to protect ourselves, you know, continue to distance ourselves and so on. Do what we have to do. What is required for us, let's do it. And then we keep ourselves safe, and then we save others as well. And also, remember, Christmas is all about Jesus Christ. It's time of giving, when God himself did the first part, when he gave his son for us. And so we cannot pay him back. The only thing we can do is to worship him, is to adore him, be grateful to him, you know, be grateful to him. So I want to encourage people to serve God. If there is a time that we need to serve God, is now.
Some recipients of the food hampers thanked Major Gashlin and other members of the Salvation Army for their support throughout the year.
Brother, I thank you for the army. God is good. I hope them to give me a good thing. I feel you have to feel good and give God thanks and praise. God is good all the time. Army is the best place. Everything. Give God thanks and praise. In the God, you know the hay.
Thanks for the little food stuff. And thanks for the little help and strength. Yes, Father Jesus. Merry, Merry Christmas to everyone. And I will have a struggle for get $1. And thanks for the food stuff. Can't know the little help to have children. Amen. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. Thank you, Lord.
The stage is already set for the commencement of the 9 Nights of Lights 2021 at the Botanical Gardens. The fully vaccinated event will kick off tomorrow night and ends on December 23rd. 600 patrons will be allowed nightly into the venue as part of the COVID-19 protocols. Public Relations Officer for the 9 Nights of Lights event, Twanik Barrow, said that children under the age of 18 who are not vaccinated are required to show a negative rapid antigen test no older than 24 hours.
We were forced to make several changes, and one of that is the amount of persons that are allowed to enter per night. So this year we are only allowed 600 persons per night. So hence the reason why persons need to register and ensure that you get your tickets early. So we don't want persons coming at the gates and we're full, and then you can't come. So register now, get your tickets, so that will ensure that you have a place. You're among the 600 persons. In terms of the admission, any patrons over 12 years old, you will pay $5. If you're between 6 to 11, your cost to come in will be $2, and for patrons under 5, you enter free with your parents.
Only the upper sections of the gardens will be lit this year, and Barrow is encouraging families across SVG who are fully vaccinated to be a part of the 600 at the 9 Nights celebrations, which will include dancing, movies, and other activities.
I just want to encourage persons to come out to 9 Nights of Lights 2021. 9 Nights of Lights is a family event, so bring out the children and the grandparents, bring out everyone and just come and have a really fun and good time. We are really encouraging persons to, you know, just follow the protocols, go online to our Facebook page, National Parks SVG, and you will see all the requirements. Follow the requirements so that you can ensure that you have everything, so that when you come at the gate you won't have a problem getting in, and just enjoy what we have. This is a time where we celebrate the birth of Christ, and you know, it's just a special time for us as Vincentian. This is our time to just enjoy. It's the end of the year, so let's close off the year in brightness and lights. All the sponsors who supported us over the years, and those new sponsors that we had this year, we thank you, for your support, because without it, I don't think 9 Nights would have been possible. So we are really grateful, definitely grateful for the support. And I just want to also thank our team, those persons who are in the garden stringing the lights, the electricians and all those persons underground.
Barrow is also encouraging patrons to follow all of the COVID-19 protocols inside the gardens. She's also urging them not to destroy any of the plants.
Of the COVID-19 protocols, when in the event, persons will be required to wear their mask at all times. They will be required to exercise safe physical distance. So if you come with your family in groups of 2s or 3s or maybe 4, ensure that you remain in your bubble. Where also, once you enter the gate, you will be required to take a temperature check, and also we will have installed adequate hand sanitizing stations so persons can sanitize their hands frequently. I just want to remind persons that the Botanical Garden is a reserve, so please refrain from littering. Absolutely no littering is allowed, no alcohol, and please don't pick any of the plants. That is something that we have noticed, so we're asking persons not to refrain from doing that, and just remain in the area, the designated area. This area, we're asking persons just remain in this area while in the Botanical Garden for 9 Nights of Lights.